And today I want to talk about the 3D model assignment that you have in principal's class. And I'm fortunate to have 2, 4, 5 examples of some great projects. So let's take a minute and talk a little about the considerations that you need to have when you put the project together. I'm interested in having you start with an actual image of what you're going to do. And with this image, you're going to be inspired not only to notice proportion and size, but material also. This is a great opportunity for you to practice your readapt material. Much of what you're going to see today, for example, this happens to be a ping pong ball. This is actually a skewer that is used, and what you'll need to be thinking about is how can I get the proportion of the piece I need, the material I need, to have it work in this setting. I'm looking for something that's just about this size, no bigger than that. It gets a little too hard to work with. I need the piece itself to stay together. You can see that everything's glued down, so that's also very important. So let's take a minute and look at each one of these and talk a little bit about their story. Starting with this piece here, when this student told the story of how she managed to create this, it was fascinating that she had started with her image. She thought it was going to be quite easy to do, but she found she had to do a lot of research. The research stage on this was very important for her. She ended up adapting a piece of material she got at Office Depot. That's actually a folder cover that she was able to cut and create these pieces. Finding the glass to go in between was a whole nother story. She was very determined to make this work. She spent quite a bit of time on it. This piece of fabric was very inspiring for her. And if you notice as a design, we can use some design words here, that she has a lot of contrast in this soft, fuzzy material with her very sleek, reflective material here. It's nicely put together. I'm particularly interested in the craftsmanship. Don't want to see a lot of fuzzy edges or glue things. She put this together very nicely. So this is a good example here of the 3D model piece. Here's another very successful 3D model project. This person actually modeled some styrofoam, and she had kind of a very inventive way that she created the curves and a piece of cardboard and another opposite curve. She wet her styrofoam, wet the piece, let it sit overnight. So the actual furniture piece was put together very nicely and very inventively. She ended up using Fimo clay to sculpt her stones. You can see she was very successful at adding some flavor to that. This is on a piece of styrofoam that she used as her base. I'm particularly pleased to see that she finished the edges. So again, when we look at the craftsmanship of this, it's very neat and tidy and well done. Here's another successful project, and I did want to tell you that you get the assignment the first week with the instructions, and then the next week that we meet, I want to see an image of your piece, what kind of material you're going to use, and I'd like you to have questions for me on how to put it together. And I give you some feedback and we have a conversation around what you're going to do, and then the week after you come in with your piece finished. I'm particularly pleased that this person was very enthusiastic. They knew the person that made the piece. This is a custom furniture designer. They had heard a story about it, did some research online. There was a whole story about how it was seen on a PBS television show where a person brought in one of their pieces and it got appraised. So I was particularly interested that this person took a real interest in this piece, and I think it made it extra special to hear her story on how she put it together and why it was important to her. What I'm appreciating about this solution was this person had a totally different image when they came to me for feedback. It was a traditional sofa, and my feedback was, It's more complicated than you think, and I would be open to doing something different if you find as you get started with it that it's not working for you. And this student took my advice. As they started working on the traditional sofa, it didn't seem to be very much fun, there wasn't any color, and found this image here and just got all excited, fired up over doing it, completely changed their mind, and was very excited about the finished piece that they had arrived with. So oftentimes when we're working on a creative process and a project, we may start in one direction but then move to another one, and it kind of allows the piece itself to have its own excitement and take it in its own direction. This was another project where the students started out with a traditional sofa and completely shifted as they got into it. I am appreciating the craftsmanship on this, the detail that's been done, the way it's been presented is very professional. And I find with this project, it can be fun and exciting because you can bring your good kinesthetic building skills, you can bring your good creative readapt skills that you already have and really shine in this project. So good luck with the project you're working on. Thank you for joining me. I hope this will help you be encouraged to do your own thing and to celebrate in creating a 3D model piece that we'll see when the assignment is due. Thanks.